Today I want to talk about the work that you have to do versus the work that you need to do. People like to complain a lot that they have, you know, things that they need to do that don't necessarily align with what they actually want to do. Example, you have a job, let's say, and you're trying to also start a business, and it's like while you're at the job, well, you are working, but in reality, that time is really not really going to know anything, right? It's kind of there to survive. It's like, just brushing your teeth, right? When you brush your teeth, you you're not gaining anything. You're more so doing it to maintain the way you are, type of deal. Same thing, washing your face, taking a shower, you're not really progressing in anything. And it feels like that when you're working on something that really doesn't align with the future version of you. But the thing is, we all have that, you know? People like to complain. Yes, some people have more. Excuse me. And again. Oh, yeah, again. So I just drank the buffalo milk again. That is a recurring thing in all my videos nowadays. But we'll keep going and we'll keep burping on. Everybody has things that they don't want to do and have to do. People like to be like, oh, if only I was like a kid again and I would be able to work on my business and not have any distractions. Yeah, but guess what? You're not a kid. And that's actually a good thing that you didn't do that as a kid, because I think that it's actually stupid. And, it kind of destroys your childhood, really. And you had things to do as a kid too. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to play, you know what I'm saying? That was like technically part of your program. That was like going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like you are always gonna have things that are not necessarily for building, they're more so for maintaining. And they do take a bunch of time out of your day. Yeah, the best case scenario would be to somehow live in a house with people feeding you meals every time, and you just stay in front of the desk and you work, and somehow you still manage to keep your body in shape. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of it too. I would argue that you should sacrifice 1 hour, 2 hours, I don't know, of time that you dedicate to work, to work out, to do your steps, to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something you shouldn't really never not do. Same as sleep, right? Sleep is also a thing that you maintain. You cannot sleep for 20 hours and now you can run, the craziest marathon or whatever, right? So we always have things that that are gonna make us feel, damn, if only I didn't have to do that. But that's an idealistic view of looking at things. You have things that you have to do. Even people like, oh man, I wish I was back in high school because I didn't do shit in high school. Maybe you didn't do shit in high school, but you still had to go to classes for the most part, right? So that is still time that you couldn't have spent on the business. You just forget that, well, actually, yeah, things change. You sometimes have more time to yourself to do whatever, and sometimes you have less time to do whatever. But that doesn't change the fact that you are always going to have activities that are going to take time away, but you're also always going to be able to find a way to do something on the side. Right now, I'm working so hard on things, right? Because I got like, I don't know what they're called, but I got like some final exams or some shit like that. And that's all I do, bro. this is like literally my break, and I gotta record this. I literally gave myself an hour to record, make the thumbnail, edit, and post the video, and then and eat as well, and then I'm back to work. Like, but I still managed to find time for this, right? Because I think it's important to post every day. Like, yeah, bro, suck it up. It's pause, such a pause type of phrasing, but suck it up, really. Like, you're gonna always have things that are gonna distract you from where you wanna go. But you have a choice. You can be like, oh, oh man, I'm not gonna work today because I had an exam today and now my body is tired, so I'm not gonna work on my business today, you know? Or you could be like, okay, that was the work that needs to be maintained because life makes us do it, and now I gotta do the work that will actually get me out of this rat race, right? Because that's the point of the rat race. They're making it so you feel like you never have time, so that you feel like you can never work on the things that you want to work on. You always feel like, even if you technically didn't spend the whole day, you're like, oh man, but I took an exam, so nah, this is my off day. I'm not gonna work today on my business. Like, no, that was something, you know what I'm saying? That's how they catch you. Because in reality, you never, if you really think about it, you never really have time in your life as a human. You know what I'm saying? The only time you have time, like I said, is when you're a kid. But I would, strongly advise against like working as a kid. Like I'm seeing these 10-year-olds start a business, and that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right to me. You know what I'm saying? Even if they get rich, like, oh yeah, but if I start at 10, I might be rich at 18. I mean, yeah, but me personally, I'd rather get rich a bit later and still be able to say that I've had a childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not I'm getting rich at 60, right? Just a couple of years later, you know what I'm saying? Even a decade later, I don't know, but doesn't matter. I'd rather have a childhood and work a little bit more, get rich a little bit later, than be the kid that's like so, be kind of like Michael Jackson, like he was kind of made to be, who he was, who he became. Like he was, he was not allowed to do anything by his father, I think, because he was supposed to be singing, to be a legend. Like that legend was literally created. Like, yeah, he had talent, but that's why he was like one of the people. Not many people are gonna be like that in the future because that dude had extreme talent and he was working extremely hard. But he was working extremely hard mainly because he was, forced into it, and how it ended up for him, that whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any kids watching, but yeah, I'm just saying. So you never really have time, right? They make it so you never really think that you have time, but in reality, you do have time. You have time, maybe not at every single point in your life, but you can always find a way. You can always find a way to have time. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, like, look at the facts. Like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to, work nonstop for the rest of my life till I'm retired? You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers go for life without looking. Like, yo, okay, maybe, okay, you've gone this month without working on what you're actually supposed to be working on. But next month, come on, get to work. That's how you stay at your job for 40 years. Maybe if you want to do that, that's fine. But don't be like, yo, I hate this job, but at the same time, you don't even work on your thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not just here saying that you need to work on your thing. Nah. If you are happy at a job, if you know what I'm saying, do that. I'm talking for the motherfuckers that want to do something else, and they manipulate themselves into thinking that just because they've worked at the job, now they can't. But in reality, when they will actually have free time, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. There is work that you need to do. You go to the gym, you brush your teeth, you work at your job, you work at school. You go to school. You know those are things that you have to do. You have to maintain them. But there are also things that you need to do, because if you only do these things, and again, I'm talking to the people that don't actually want to live as a job their whole life, and you know what I'm saying? Like, again, if you're super happy about having, a job, being a, because I actually think some jobs are pretty cool, like, especially if you, like, quote unquote give up on trying to get super rich, like, I think there's some that, more chill jobs that, yeah, you make less, but it's like, you live a pretty decent life. You know what I'm saying? Just a chill little happy life, in a small little town. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I don't know who really likes sitting at the desk all day and, I'm saying, having a boss that yells at them. To be fair, I don't know that. I've never worked that kind of job, but yeah, if you hate that kind of thing, then you cannot keep lying to yourself to be like, I had a hard day at work today. I'll start on my business tomorrow, or I'll work on my business tomorrow. Or, you know what I'm saying? Because some things have to be done, but some things need to be done. Because if you don't, you'll end up just regretting your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Because that just transmutes into everything. Getting jacked, getting a girlfriend, having cool experiences, all that, bro. It comes from the mindset of I am only doing the work that is told, like, I'm being told to do. If you're only doing the work that you're being told to do, don't expect to have a super good life.